dear students. Hope you all doing well. Welcome back to Bosco Campus Vision YouTube channel of Kottayam Don Bosco College. This is the 7th lecture of Communicative Applications in English, which is the open course offered by BA English Language and Literature for 5th semester students. So in this class, we are discussing a new topic, that is communication. Our society moves on the wheels of communication. Language is the medium of communication. So, clear communication is very essential for your professional growth. Improper communication leads to incomplete output. So, the process of communication is simply, we can say that it is the process of transferring information from one place to another. So, that information can be ideas, messages, feelings, or anything. So it is affected by our emotions, cultural situations, medium used to communicate, or even location. So this process involves a sender, message, receiver, and also feedback. It is a cyclic process. So sender is sending a message to the receiver is giving feedback to the sender. So there's definitely a medium is needed. This term communication is derived from a Latin word communico, which means to share. So that is the process of communication. Now let's check what are the elements of communication. Communication has different elements. First one is sender. Sender is the person who sends the message to the receiver. Next is encoding. Encoding is the process of putting thought into symbolic form of message. So sender is encoding the message. So what is message? It is a set of symbols that sender transmit to the receiver through a channel. So then what do you mean by a channel? Channel or media refers to the specific communication channel through which this message moves. Next is decoding. The process by which the receiver assigns meaning to the symbols encoded by the sender. So when the sender is sending a message, it is received by a receiver and he started decoding it. So who is the receiver? The person who receives the message. Next one is response. Response is the reaction of the receiver after being exposed to the message. So when receiver got the message, he is exposed to the message and he makes it reaction. So that is the response is the reaction of the receiver. Next important element is feedback. So what do you mean by a feedback? Feedback is the observation of a receiver's response. So feedback, when the sender is receiving the feedback, then only that process become complete. Last one is noise. Noise is the disturbance during the process of communication. So these are the different elements of communication which is very inevitable in the process of communication. Next is types of communication. There are many types of communication. First one is verbal communication and second one is non-verbal communication. Verbal communication simply suggests this communication is done through verbally or vocally or through a written language. It is classified. This verbal communication is again classified into two: oral communication and written communication. So there are mainly two types of communication: verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Now, verbal communication suggests by using a language. We are communicating by using a language. It can be oral communication or written communication. Oral communication simply suggests communication happens through spoken words. For example, public speech, telephone conversation. So there a message is conveyed through speech. So that is oral communication. Next one is written communication. Written communication is communicating a message by means of a written form. For example, newspaper. Through a written for letters. Through letters we are communicating things. So we are sending messages. So that is a form of communication. Another important form of communication is non-verbal communication. In present scenario, importance of non-verbal communication is great. So non-verbal communication, from the name itself we can understand that non-verbal communication is a communication through signs, symbols, gestures or body language. So nowadays only when we started communicating, only 60 to 70% of content or message is conveyed through our oral means. The rest of the 30% is conveyed through non-verbal means. So non-verbal communication is also very important in the process of communication. Now let's check what are the different elements of non-verbal communication. So non-verbal communication, it refers to all stimuli other than spoken or written word, including the following modes. So I will explain the modes. First one is body language. It is also known as kinesics. Next one is touch. It is also called haptics. Third one is space distancing or proxemics. Fourth one is sign language, and the last one is paralanguage. So nonverbal communication include all these stimuli. It can be body language, communication through touch, space distancing, sign language, or paralanguage. Now let's check what do you mean by this body language. Body language is the language of body. That means during the process of communication, for example, if you are going for a job interview, so while they are communicating to you, as I told you, only 60 to 70% of information is collected through verbal means. The rest of the 30% communication is possible through your body language. So body language involves your facial expression, eye contact, gestures, postures, and personal appearance. Facial expressions suggest your face is the index of your mind. Even a small expression in your face can add meaning being conveyed through verbal means. So your face is very important in your presentation. So while you presenting something, definitely the receiver, definitely the audience will look at your face. So what are the different expression that is going through your face? That is very important thing. So a smile or a raising the eyebrows, it can add the meaning that being conveyed through verbal means. So facial expression is very important thing in the body language. Next one is eye contact. Eye contact or gaze, your look. Eye contact with the listener is the most important aspect of the body language. Eye is the window to soul. So a good speaker looks at all sections of audience, not on the ground or on the ceilings. So it has been rightly said that the eye is the extension of our brain, and as I told you, it is a window to the soul. Stress is laid on the continuous eye contact between the speaker and the listener. So for example, in interview, it often heard that don't stare at the question, the person who is asking the question, don't stare at them. So this will demerit your response. So eye contact is very important thing in your communication. Next one is gestures. A well-timed gesture can drive a presentation effectively. So gestures play an important role in making the communication effective. A well-timed gesture can drive a point home. Similarly, playing the ring, twisting the keychain, or clasping one's hand tightly on the desk. So all these affect your communication. So all these things that shows that you have stage fear. So be selective in choosing your gestures. You can also use some kind of gestures in your presentation. For example, in your class, while the teacher is taking class, she's often use some gestures for in order to make the class silent. She often use gestures. So some gestures can be used. So while using gestures, be selective. Next important thing is posture. Postures refers the way one stands, sits, and walks. The movement of your body, position of hands and legs, etc. reveal your personality. So posture is very important in your communication. So for example, when you present something, when you are going to present a seminar, so your posture is very important. So the guides will measure you on the basis of the posture. So it is an important body language. The movement of your body is very important in your presentation. A good speaker stands tall, feet together, and weight directly over the instep, keeping your chin on a line parallel to the floor or right angles to the backbone. So keep straight, stand straight while you present something. Don't lean or don't look up. This one is personal appearance. The first impact on the audience, it is created by the personal appearance of the speaker. It shows your nature, interest, and your taste. So be very confident in your personal appearance. Take care in your dress, hairstyle, walk, and even talk. So personal appearance is also very important thing. Conventions have been made in regard to use the dress and general physical appearance in respect of certain communication situations only. For example, when you are going for an interview, you must follow the conventions of conventional dress code in the interview. So when you are going for a convocation, there also you must follow the dress code, a uniform dress code. But in your when you are going for an informal function, you can use party wears. So you must be very careful in selecting your attire and also your personal appearance. Now let's check what you mean by this haptics. It is the form of interaction involving touch. Touch determines the feeling of warmness or closeness. So you often see that in your classroom when a student makes mistakes, the teacher came directly to that student and she patted on her shoulder. So there is a warmness. So she is communicating something non-verbally. She's communicating non-verbally to the child. So there she used the technique of haptics. So it is the form of interaction involving touch. Another one is proxemics. Proxemics describe an individual's perception of and use of space, both personal and social. So for every individual there is some special space. So don't allow strangers to intrude your personal space. So definitely we will have a personal space and an outer space. So you must respect other person's personal space. So this space also communicates something. The study of space and how we use it, how it makes us feel more or less comfortable, and how we arrange objects and ourselves in relation to space. So that is what proxemics. Another important thing is sign language. Sign language is the visual way of communicating where someone uses hand gestures, movement, body language, or facial expression. So in your news channels also you can see sign language for deaf people. So through signs they are simply communicating something. So when you playing in the on the playground also, sometimes in cricket also you can use some sign language. So that is sign language. Another one is paralanguage. Paralanguage is like suprasegmental features. So it is the additional speech features that we use in the process of communication. That means pitch, tone, volume, tempo, rhythm, etc. So we can understand the mood and situation of the speaker through his usage of paralanguage. So it also plays an important thing in your non-verbal communication. So in addition to these different forms of communication, we have some additionals, and they are interpersonal communication, intrapersonal communication, extrapersonal communication, mass communication or media communication. Interpersonal communication means communication between two or more people. Interpersonal. Okay. Intrapersonal suggests communication takes place in our mind. For example, soliloquy, we are speaking to ourselves, that is intrapersonal. Next one is extrapersonal, communication with non-human entities. For example, communicating to pets. Then mass communication. Mass communication is communicating to mass people. So it may sometimes for mass communication we use electronic gadgets. So that is mass communication or media communication. So these are the different types of communication. I hope you understood various sections discussed today. Do the homework and send me. Thank you.